last stream, but something weird happened. We're having a storm here, like outside is thunder and lightning. So I have a feeling it affected the Wi-Fi and it all kind of went wrong. So I'm going to load this up on my laptop as well as always. And that's much better. Now I can see everything going on. So hello, happy Sunday. It's nice to see some of you earlier at our Hedgehog Hollow meetup. So the next one we're going to do, I will talk about a little bit later once everyone's hopped in. And today we're going to be working on our tags from yesterday. So I'm going to work on this one because it's super cute. Hey, Heather. And I'm going to be using this stamp set with it. And I also want to show you this one a little bit. Hey, Lola, welcome. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And we're going to create some kind of fun stuff as well. Hey, Renee. Hey, Barbara. Hello, hello, hello. I actually had a really pretty white shirt on, but just to go live, I decided I was going to take it off because it's a white shirt and we're going to do some mixed media and inky stuff. So I figured that probably wasn't my best plan. But I'm going to grab out some fairy floss for those of you who have it at home. I'm going to use some of that tonight. What colors do I have there? Well, that's pretty much everything. And I already turned my laminator on, and this one doesn't matter whether my laminator gets hot or not. Hey, Jan, welcome. Happy Sunday, everyone. So what's everyone been up to today? So we had our meetup today. We had lots of fun. We had 50 Donut Co., which have like these huge donuts, like massive donuts. And we did coffee and we just sat and chatted and it was lovely. So the next one we're going to do a Christmas card making class. So it'll be like, I don't know whether to do like just a morning or do an all day like retreat style thing. We can figure that out. But it's going to actually be an in-person class and I'm going to make a special stamp set just for the class. So it probably will happen at the beginning of October will be my aim. So make sure you put those in your calendars. As soon as I have a date, I will let you know. I'm probably in the same spaces today because they have lots of room to do those kinds of things as well. Hey, Mark. Hello. Welcome to England. Hey, Jen. So we'll be doing that as well. So I think that will be a fun one. And then maybe in time we'll get to the point where we can do like hybrid where we can send out a kit or you can come in person and we can do those kinds of things. But we'll have to figure that out as we go as well. Hey, Barbara, welcome, welcome, welcome. So today I want to work on the tags that we started with before. So I'm going to turn this around as always. And see how we do. Okay, so it's going much better these days. So I picked two of the tags for us to work on tonight. So I want to show you this one with the texture and some things you can kind of do with the texture. And then I also want to work on this one. So for this one, I'm going to use some fairy floss. I'm going to use these cute little stamps here. So we're going to use all of that stuff to finish this one off in a minute. But first, I just want to dive into this one and show you kind of some of the things you can do. So once it's dry, you can see it's a nice firm texture. You can sand this if you want to get a really smooth texture on it, but you know, even though I kind of pull around on my tag, it doesn't crack too much. Now all right, I'll show you. If I like bend it, I can make a crack come into it. And then what I can do is I can take some ink, like, this is my flat white. And I can start rubbing my ink in. So you can take your blending brushes and you can add ink in ombres and rainbows and things. You can also just take your ink pad and you can apply it directly, or even then just do this. You can spritz it once this is dry and make that ink run. And hey, Shell. You can kind of rub it in and you see how you can kind of make some fun texture with it as well. So you can really kind of have some fun with this. You can take re-inkers. I've got some here. So I've got, what color did I grab? Coral Keys. We're just going to go in with that one so you guys can see what it looks like. And you can dab it out, you can spread it out, you can spritz it out. Now, you don't want to spritz it too much because you can reactivate some of the medium a little bit. That's also kind of fun because you can go in and do and stuff. But you see how I can kind of dab it down here. So these are really fun once you put this on. You could put clear ink and then put embossing powder on top and have like different layers of texture. You could add a different color or use a stencil. Oreo, it's not dinner time yet. He's like sniffing at my arm like it's dinner time, and it's not. So you can do a ton of different things once these dry, and then you can go in and add more and do more. And you can see like how I can really kind of highlight this out. You can take an ink blender. So anything that works with porous mediums, you can use your watercolor paints on it. But again, just be a little bit sparing when you're working with the water stuff. So you don't want too much water in there because you can reactivate it and then you'll need to let it dry again. But just kind of fun to create backgrounds and things. But I just wanted to do that little bit of follow up with you to show you what it looks like. We could even, you know, start decorating this tag. You can stamp on top of this too. So if I take, for instance, my skull that I love down here, Oreo, you're going to get your nose bashed and then you're going to complain. So we're going to take this one and we can take, I don't know, you could do black, you could do any color you want. So you see how I can stamp on top of it. You could take, I'm going to go in with some purple. And because of all the texture, you're not going to get like a super clear impression. But you see here where I've made it wet and it's a little bit smoother, I can get that impression. Here I'm getting more of a ghost image, but I'm not against that because I can kind of play with it and add some decoration to it. So this will need to dry again just because we wet all of that medium before I do anything with it. But where's my squid buster? Here it is. And I'll let that one dry for now and we'll kind of come back to adding some stuff to that one. So I want to work on this one. And first of all, I want to make a pretty piece of fairy floss paper. So if you remember before, we had this stuff called fairy floss. And I'm going to do the little sampler pack here. This was it was Pluto, which was this one, I think. Mint chip, which is this, and then Aurora Borealis. And I want to make just like something super special. So you can just take the fibers and you could stick them underneath like this, or you can fuse them together, which is what we're going to do. And if you see the new colors of fairy floss that they have, I still want to bring it back because now they do like blends and all kinds of really cool stuff. So you can just take this and you can even just blend it yourself. So just by pulling it apart, pushing it together. As I say, if you want to, you can take some adhesive, you could put it on, and you could put your little ghosty on. But I want to turn this into some paper, and then maybe I'll add some extra like texture and stuff as well. So if you want to turn it into paper, all you do is take your fairy floss, even like all these extra fibers here, just take it all, throw it in between a piece of our parchment paper, like the carrier sheets we have. And everyone seems to have been saving their fairy floss. I spoke to some of the girls today and they're like, I have jars of fairy floss. Actually, Deb, you need to send me the pictures of your jars when you go home. So I'm going to put this through. Angie. Okay, so here's my little piece. And so this is just through my laminator. And this isn't like anything special here. Open it up. And you see how I've got this really cool piece of paper. Now everything's fused together. And you don't have to use all of it. And if you don't like it, you can cut it up and you can start again. You can fold it like in different places. Like this is probably what I'm going to do is fold this one. I don't know. I haven't quite decided just yet. Aria, what are you doing? But I want to, a couple of different things I want to do. So first of all, I want to add a little bit of texture to these flowers. I should say color. So I'm just going in with some flamingo. And then I'm going to go in with some Tiptree jam. And I want to go in with some muscle car, I think. Because I want to pull out that blue color that's like in the little background. That's the only reason why. And if you're like, that's too much blue, because I kind of feel like I went over the top, I'm going to spritz it with water. And then I'm going to grab some kitchen towel here. And I'm just going to pull out a little bit of that color. So you see how I can wet it and pull back some of that color a little bit. And also the water will help it blend. So you can kind of see on here how it like starts to come together. So now I want to grab out a piece of regular white cardstock. And I'm going to take this little guy here. And I'm going to actually stamp him out in fog because I don't know that I want it as harsh as black, but I think some fog could be about right. Look how cute he is. And now I'm going to grab some colored pencils just because I don't have any Copics to hand right now. So I'm just going to go in with colored pencils. And I feel like that's something we all have. Actually, let's be like really, oh no, they're not the ones I was thinking they were. We'll be really basic. These are Walmart colored pencils. Hopefully they're all sharp because I don't have a sharpener to hand. And I'm going to start with my pumpkin. So I just want to share with you, like, you don't have to have fancy supplies to do all of this. So these are Walmart colored pencils. Ario, Hollis. And I'm going to take this brown as my black. I actually wouldn't mind having maybe we'll get some of the more of it. Yes, you can die cut it. You can also use an embossing folder on it to add texture to it. We used to do all kinds of things. I had this little piece in my sample box. So I'm going to just go here. And I'm going to fill in his mouth. Just so I don't lose that in the gray. And now I'm going back in with my lighter color, just kind of smoothing it out a little bit. Some little green leaves up here. And a little brown stump. And if you want to, you can emphasize the curls and even just start to give it some shadow down here. We're going to fussy cut this out a little bit, so I don't need to do a huge amount. But you see, like, how cute does that look? So the little hat I'm going to do as a little black hat. There's no gray in this pack. So I'm going to cheat and I'm going to just grab a gray out of another pack because I want to just lay down a gray. But like, as you can see, you can use Crayola pencils. You can use anything. As much as I love a good colored pencil, I want you to see that you can. Oh, I should have grabbed my black wings gray. Never mind. So I'm going to just start with the base layer here. I'm not going to work under the hat just yet. Off in 8 minutes again. We'll see. I'm not sure if I cancelled that right. But anyway, that's brown. I need a black. Okay, so now I'm going to start off just adding some texture. Now we're going to work underneath. And the reason I do it in sections is because I don't want to color too much and then kind of lose where my outline was or forget or something like that. And I'm going to just fill in his eyes and his nose so I don't lose them. And then, hey Melissa, so we just talked about texture on the first one and I'm coloring this image to put on the next one. I'm going to color this. It looks like a little pumpkin, so I'm going to color it the same kind of thing. And maybe like a nice little twisted brown handle here. Looks like it's still green. I did stamp with fog because I didn't want it to be too harsh as a ghost. And my whole thing's kind of like a little bit light and gentle anyway. And then a little bit of blush in the cheeks. The only thing I'm finding with this set is there's limited colors. These are Tilly's school pencils from last year, so I'm sure we probably lost a few along the way. I'm actually just, rather than using anything, I'm going to use just I'm going to use my Blackwing if I have a Sharpie one still. Yeah. You could use any regular pencil, but I'm going to use my Blackwing to color my ghosty. And I don't want to color the whole thing. And also don't be afraid, like if you feel like, okay, I kind of a little bit far, just kind of take in your eraser. Because I feel like here, I just went a little too dark. So I just want to take it back a little bit. I'm very much going on the side. And I just want some texture. And I'm probably going to take this texture down a little bit. But first I want some coverage. I'm just going to kind of fill in some of these lines. And let's grab my silver here. Sometimes I'll color and then just really lightly erase. And it's kind of a nice way to get a little bit of texture. So you saw how I shaded. And now I'm going to just take in my eraser. And just kind of leave that. And I really like how cute he looks. Just put this one back. This one. And put these away. He looks so cute. I really wanted to use the Lift Your Spirits stamp set, but I'm like, nope, I'm not using it until Lift Your Spirits. So I'm going to keep that like that. Now I'm going to grab a little pair of scissors and I'm going to fussy cut him out. I actually just ate the best dinner ever. I went and had a duck curry, and duck is my favorite. And it's so hard to cook at home, but it's like perfectly crispy. Oh my God, so good. I had to go and do some work, and it was right by where I was working. So hey, Sandy. So I'm just going to grab out my Blackwing again. And all I'm going to do is just take my pencil along the edge, because I don't like that. We just had a small group of us, but it was really nice. Thank you, Melissa. We had a in-person like coffee morning, and I bought these really cool donuts and coffee and stuff. So I just take this. Same if I'm coloring with Copics, I'll do it with a Copic color. You could also do it with ink blending tools too. but I kind of like the pencil or the Copic effect with a grey, and it just stops that harsh white edge on it. So here's our tag. I'm also going to put this in the top, and I'm going to grab, this is my little twine stand. I use a little thread rack that I got when Joann's was closing down, and I put my little twines on here. So I think we're going to use some pink and orange, and maybe also like some candy cane. Maybe like just add a smidge of the green in here. So maybe like that long. I'm going to do 2 or 3 of these so I get the different gradients of color. And then add a candy cane in. Okay, somewhere there has to be an end to this. So cut this one too. I'm just going to twist all of these. I'm going to give them the same length end for a second because it'll be easier to thread them through. I'm going to bring them around, tie it in the front. Just kind of have some cute stuff on the front there. And then you see how my little girl fits in with this. I even could have given her maybe a little bow in her hat, but I'm going to add some of that paper we made. She's going to cut a piece to go behind her. Maybe we'll layer these up. Let's see. Let's take this piece. I'm going to grab some fibers. Where did they go? I'm going to add like a little bit extra. Yes. We need a sentiment. I guess wicked cute. Maybe. So I'm going to do a little strip with wicked cute on it. And I'm going to do that in Vegas strip. That's that piece of white I was using. I'm just going to use a tag and I'll cut the bottom off of it. Nope, don't need any of that in there. Grab our trimmer. in some of that pink. So I'm going to pink edge this little strip with my flamingo brush. Just on the edge. I feel like it's coming together now. So now let's glue some of this down. So I'm going to take some of my adhesive. And I'm just going to kind of put it on the solid area because this is not very heavy. I'm going to do the same. This will dry clear. And I need some foam squares. I'm just going to take a little bit of glue because I knew it would pick up on the fairy floss. So I just put the glue where the foam dots are on the fairy floss, and then that will hold all that in place. We'll just hold it for a second, but I still wanted that little bit of texture to raise it up. And I'm going to give these tags away. So I couldn't figure out how to do it. So anyone who is registered for our stencil class next weekend, you don't even have to be there live, but anyone who is registered is going to be entered to win these tags. So we're going to work on them all week. And then in the final live, I'm going to draw names. So next time we'll probably tackle 1 or 2 more tags. I'm just waiting for that to dry for a second before I mess with it. So I was putting my twine back. So anyone who's registered, if you are not already registered, you can go to hedgehoghollowstore.com. Links in the description. I think it's $5, and we're going to craft next weekend, and I'm going to show you lots of ways to stretch your stencils. And if you are registered, you could win one of these tags. You don't even have to be in the class because I give stuff away in the class as well. So on the final one of these, we will do that, and then I'm going to add just some little foam squares on the back here. So I couldn't figure out the best way to do it, so that's how we're going to do it. And the class will be really fun. I got lots and lots of ideas. We need lots of different mediums, lots of different stuff. Right way up would probably be good. And I think, so the glue needs a minute to dry, but I think that came out so cute. And I'm not a mixed media girl, but I really, really love, I kind of want like a little bit of black down here. Not like a lot. I'm also just going to take the edge of this tag. I just kind of want to know. I feel like it looks a little bit stark. Oh yeah, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe, all those things. This top corner, a little bit on this top ghost. It was definitely been a process to build this, but I love everything about it. Everything from the foil that kind of peeks through with the alcohol ink, to the flowers, to the tissue paper, like everything in there. There's like all these really cool layers in here. So I love this stuff. So cute. It's so cute. I need to wait for the glue to dry. I might even end up putting like a little glue dot in here, but we'll see how it dries. But she is adorable. I'm not usually doing, you don't see me do mixed media very often, but these I'm loving. I'm gonna just put a dab under here. let it dry. So, so there she is. She's adorable. I love her. And I think she came out so cute. All right, so now I have to keep her somewhere safe. So I'm going to put her in my little drawer here. And then, so what else do we have? We have, this is the one we were adding texture to earlier. And my idea for this one, I'll show you. I'm probably going to have another Tilly ding. Is, where's the stamp set? The stamp set, I have the skulls in. Let me see. Maybe this one. More this one. Yeah, I like the little bit of fairy floss on there. I think it's fun. And of course, I have all these pieces left that I can use in something too. What I was going to do was a piece of our white, piece of this. Look what colors again we had on. So I'm going to make this element, and again, I'm probably just going to let it dry, and we can add it on in the assembly, but I'm going to use some blue. We already put some, actually, not really. We already put some red luster and coral keys on there. So we're going to kind of stick with those colors. Do this. Do this. And I'm going to take a little bit of flat white. And then I'm going to spritz it with some water. And stamp it out for a second. There's my tag. We also had some purple in there, so you can always like add a smidge of Coronation to like make some of this stuff pop. So I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to take my brush and stipple out some of that harshness. Again, a couple of spritzes of water. So all of a sudden that kind of like, not muddied it up, but it like made it look darker, and oh yeah, I like that extra like little pop on there. So we can clean that up. Hey Jay. Okay, let's put this one away. And I'm trying to think if I want to add anything else to it or not. I think probably not. I wondered about just doing like, still has black on it, I think. So I didn't add any more black. I'm just basically adding some storm clouds, and even just a little bit across in here. So I haven't added any more ink. I'm literally just adding that little bit of like just imagination. Yes, they did. You know, it was super easy. I used kaleidoscope cleaner and a magic eraser cloth, and it like just came straight off. So easy. Deb said that today. She's like, I can't believe Dr. Blush paid for you to get your nails done and you ruined them. And then I said, look, they look fine today. So all that's done is just create like a little bit of moodiness in here. And if you wanted to, you could even take a little bit of fog. I don't have a little one for fog. And you could layer a little bit of fog on top just to kind of give it that stormy, Halloweeny kind of vibe. And then I'm going to, and you could use a die, but I don't know where my dies are right now. So I'm just going to cut this out by hand. And then I'm going to take my black. I don't know what other people call the fairy floss. We'll have it back. It's coming. I've just ordered a couple of colors, so it'll be in our holiday stuff. I'm going to just take my black. Orio's going to town on that little toy. You'll probably hear him. So I'm just storming up the edges a little bit more. My plan was to kind of lift it up, but I wanted to do like I don't know. Maybe I wanted it outlined in black. Also grab, this is a piece of fairy floss I made before. Maybe I could just do something like this. Because I wasn't planning to use the whole thing. So maybe we'll just do that. So let's take this and glue on. Hey Denise. See, this is where I struggle with mixed media because I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And then we'll grab some little foam squares. I'm going to put it on here. Doesn't ruin the video. And I'm going to cut here. Okay. We're going to weird noise. I want to like So it kind of like adds that little bit of shadow on here. I do have a little bit of this, which I feel like I'm not good. What's up, Aria? Maybe I even want it here like this. Still some medium under this. I might just stick on its own. And then, I'm not sure we really have many sentiments. I kind of thought about adding, I'm going to stamp it in Grand Canyon. So this is just the Ouija board stamp. I'm stamping it here in Grand Canyon. I think it looks really nice. Like it's not too dark that it's black, but it's dark enough. Oh, thanks, Melissa. And now I'm going to cut it like a tag. I'll cut it. I want to be closer. This. Let's grab out some flat white and some frappe. So this is frappe. So I'm just kind of going all over it to make it look aged. It's a really nice color for aging. It's like a tea stain kind of color. And then I'm going to grab my flat white. But first I'm going to grab, I think, oh, I do still have one. This is the Tim Holtz like paper ager. You can do it with your scissors too. This is like just super easy to do. So I'm just roughing up the edges. As I say, you can do this with the edge of your scissors, or you can grab out a tool. And I'm going to take my flat white brush, and like I'm actually even just gonna and it won't do your ink pad any harm as long as you're not too harsh. Like obviously if you like rip it across, you'll tear your ink pad. But if you just kind of dip it in gently, what it's going to do is pick up that ink, and that ink will even itself back out again. I'm not, like you can see, like as soon as I dab in with my brush, it's kind of evening back out again. In here, and then I just wanted to like stick it in like a little ticket. I can glue all this in a little while too. I don't have any black twine. I'll have to get some black threads off my thing here. Let's see what we've got. So I have some black sewing thread. So I'm literally just going to do, so I'll show you in a second what I've done. Because I can't fit my arm in a frame to do that. So what I did was wound this around my, like down like this, like in my thumb and over my elbow and back again. And then I'm just going to twist this a couple of times. And then I'm going to finagle this through. And just grab it over the top. And all you have to do is cut the top off. And then it kind of looks like odd thread. You could add some silver or gold or something into it. And then it needs a sentiment, but I really don't know. I don't have, oh, there's these ones. I forgot about these. Let's use one of these. Let's see. So this one says, here for the chills and the charm. So I'm going to do it in, actually I'm going to kind of stick with the Grand Canyon because I kind of like having that in there for a change. I felt like that wasn't straight in any way, so I'm just going to do that. Yeah. And it's not the perfect stamp out, but I feel like it's a Halloween, so it's okay. And again, I'm just going to take like my frappe brush, just because it's still a little bit wet, and just smear it almost a little bit and add some color because I don't want it to be that like stark white. It's not kind of what I'm going for. Stick this on. Yeah, I had to turn my Wi-Fi off. I tried to go live once and my Wi-Fi was like, yeah, not happening. So I had to go again. So it's going to take a second to dry. Pull out my fairy flosser. It's there. And then I'm going to take my little witch's hat and I'm going to very firmly, and I'm going to rock the stamp around so it's not too plain. Turn this over, snip it. Put like a little bit here. I don't know how much it'll take, but just trying to like keep it cohesive. So that's my second one. I kind of like that too. It's very different to the first one. So there we go. So there's our spooky. I feel like there's something here missing, but I don't know what yet. So I'm going to think about it and then figure it out and add it in. But yeah, I like that. And then this is a cutesy one. So that's our two for this evening. It's going to need a little bit more glue. I can see that. I'm going to see in the morning what hasn't stuck, and I will figure it out from there. So yeah, isn't it cute? So that's our two for tonight. So as I say, so we're going to do another two probably tomorrow night because it's Greg's birthday. So Tilly's with him. She won't be with me like normal Mondays. We won't have skating. So I'm going to aim to go live again tomorrow. We'll maybe do 1 or 2 more. And then, as I say, once they're all done, I'm going to draw names of people who are registered for the stencil class. And if you're not registered, you can do it in the link below. And then out of those who are registered, I will give these tags away to you guys. That'll be so cute. Okay, Ario, no, they're not for you. So that's it for this evening. Thank you so much for hopping in and joining us here at Hedgehog Hollow. Don't forget to hit subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, all those kinds of things. And I will catch you. I have fairy floss in my mouth. I'll catch you in the next live where we're going to be working on some more of our Halloween spooky mixed media tags. I'll catch you then. Bye.